Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Broke Girls Art School. In today's episode, I will be giving another time-lapse tutorial on how I completed my latest commission piece. This portrait of my friend's great-great-grandma. So yeah, make sure to subscribe if you want to see some future content. Drop a comment, let me know what you guys thought and if this helped you out. And yeah, let's get started. So the first step to making a wood burn is of course applying the stencil. So the technique that I use is putting a piece of tracing paper over my iPad, and then I just use a graphite pencil to trace over the design. Definitely make sure you get all of the shadow lines and any details that you want to incorporate your burn put in your stencil. If you guys would like a more detailed description on how I make my stencils and the supplies I use, I will tag a link in the description below to another video. So here I'm just taping on the tracing paper. And I just used a quarter to rub on top of the paper to transfer the graphite. So I definitely recommend going in with lighter tones when doing portraits of people. I go about these kind of portraits a bit differently than I do my pet portraits. When I do my pet portraits, I typically go in with my darkest tones first and knock out all the heavy blacks out of the way. But I think when you're doing portraits of people, it's important to start light and really just build up your tones. So I typically get the most prominent features out of the way first, eyes, nose, and mouth. Definitely take your time when working on these features because it's just the most important part when it comes to being able to tell who the person is. And for pretty much all of this burn, I was using my razor tip transfer shader. I love this tip. It's really great for getting nice smooth gradients. Here I'm just going in kind of with some more mid-tones, getting some of the shadows out of the way. And I think it's really important to pay attention to detail when it comes to like wrinkles in the face and make sure you get all those shadows right, because not only does it give it more dimension, but it really captures the personality of the person that you're burning. And I always recommend when working on wood burns to go in them on different days, like at multiple times. So typically, I'll spend my first day just getting like the base layer down, and then I'll go into it the next day or a week later, and I'll find a bunch of shadows that I missed or details that I missed. And I think it's just really important to not try to knock everything out in one go, because it's pretty important to go back into something with fresh eyes because, yeah, I guarantee you'll find some things that you missed. So now we have a good base layer down on the face, and going to start going into the neck and the shirt. Yeah, don't be afraid to just keep on layering. Better to go in light than to go in too dark. Now we're starting to go in with the hair a little bit. Her hair was like a very, very light white color, so I did darken it up just a little bit so you could tell that it was there. And I always say it's definitely okay to add a little bit extra contrast if it's going to make your portrait or whatever art piece more readable. Don't be afraid to stylize something a little bit if it's going to add more dimension to your piece. All right, and I took my torch and I went around the edges to kind of give it that background fade. And I did the shirt as well, but I ran out of storage space on my phone. So that's why I kind of skipped that part of the video. So sorry, guys.
But yeah, so I'm just going into the face one more time. I think this was my third day of going into this portrait, and I'm just really darkening up some shadows a little bit, making it a little bit more crisp. And I always recommend taking a liner to go around the edges of the whole portrait just to really make it pop off. All right, and next we are applying the Mod Podge. I'll attach a link below to another video I have that's more in depth with different ways to seal your art projects. But Mod Podge I've always had the best results with because I feel like it just darkens up the burn a little bit, and it doesn't decrease the contrast at all. And here is the finished product.
Thanks for watching another episode of Broke Girls Art School. Again, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to be notified about my future content, and drop a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about the video. Have a good one.